and welcome to Thursday Lines. I'm your host, Nikki. Thursday Lines is proudly brought to you by Little Birdie TV, topsport.com.au and Punting Form. I've got in the studio with me today, MG, to go over the AFL because it's been quite an action-packed weekend. And my man up in orange, Nick Tedeschi, Toprope. Oh my God, we're going to cover some Origin from last night. How are you, honey?
I am drained after last night. It was a wild game. That's what Origin footy is all about. That was what a first half as I've seen. It was, to be fair, of any sport of any time around the world. So it was outstanding. Great stuff. As hard as it gets. Hard as nails stuff, that was.
I would agree. That was probably one of the better Origins I've seen. Obviously, my team did not win, but that is okay. Full credit to New South Wales. They rolled out a great team. It was a great game. And you're right, like that first half, that pressure on both sides was amazing. And I think you sort of knew that it was going to be hard for Queensland to keep that up, just with the hits and everything in the second half. But MJ was just commenting that, he's had 8 Nurofen because it was quite loud in here last night.
Fragile state this morning, Toprope. What about, it was a great game, low scoring. But what about the ref? Has he ruined the game, Toprope? What are we doing?
Oh, this guy.
Did that change the result or just part of the game here? What? Seriously, come on.
Oh, he's getting plenty of grief for that. His handling of that was absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. It goes back to the bunker being in gear. Canberra running in probably should have resulted in a stiffer penalty than we got. I have no idea why now I was getting slim bin for that. And at the end of the day, it was both teams at fault. It should have gone back to the knock on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It certainly changed the tune of the game, but just the wild inconsistency throughout the game, I thought was appalling. Like Reece Force getting done for a kick when Seven Crichton scored, when he just seemed to be running over the top of him trying to jump over him. Certainly wasn't lashing out with a boot. There was, New South Wales certainly got, I would say, more than the Robbers, the green. They certainly got most of the favourites. And the way the game was refereed, it certainly favoured New South Wales in that. I don't think there's any question they got the into the game with the superior forward pack, and that was certainly going to favour the Blues. But at the end of the day, the best team won, and that's what you can really ask for. And Billy Slater's got to eat some of this loss because it was had you picked his best team, had David Fafita and both from all been there instead of Jeremiah Nanai and Kurt Capewell, I think the result could have been very, very different because they needed impact. They got the impact. Then I missed that key tackle, the left Bradman, that little I get through before Bradman best first try. I think he's I'm reluctant to call it arrogant, but there's certainly a touch of arrogance to it with the selections that he's played a key role in costing Queensland.
He was definitely feeling the pressure throughout, definitely since the MCG Game 2 loss. Is he 100% go on, or does he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he'll go on. If there was a draft, every team lost their player, every team lost their coach, it would start again. But let's say we're probably the second or third coach draft to a club right now. So he's very highly rated, and he's got more than enough good stuff on the board. Severe outsiders the last 2 years and won both series. So he's got the runs on the board, but I think a little bit of introspection would occur here. I have no idea what the beef is with him and Fafita, and he, of course, is going to say there is no beef. All right, there's got to be a beef because he may not do some things right. He had his surrogates out there pushing, and he does not have work with full power. Jeremiah now does no work. No work, full stop. He wrestled 30 metres last night. He's on the 55 metres, he's a forward. He does no work. So I think, really, really poor selections. I think I wrote in the feed for the game that all of Queensland were morals if they picked Fafita and Fillmore. And that was where they could potentially be exposed, and that was where they were exposed. Both tries came there. Both tries were especially the first try was very much second row related there. So, it's back to the drawing board for Queensland, but New South Wales doesn't win 2 on a trot all that often. But credit to Michael Maguire too. I was highly critical of Maguire's selection to the first game. He adapted throughout the series. He continued to make changes. And even from a winning team, there's always a good time when you make a change to a winning team. He brought in Mitch Barnett for Omolo Fuatu. And I thought that was an absolute must-have. Mitch Barnett was close to the best field last night in his origin debut. And has seen himself up to be an origin player for a long, long time to come. So credit to Maguire as that.
They rolled out a good team. Yeah, no worries. I'm happy that half of them play for the Chooks. So, all right. MG, AFL, wow. It's been an interesting weekend, and we've got some issues with the match review panel. No one knows what they're doing.
Yeah, the on-field action was good.
Oh, yeah.
The bookies probably broke even, probably won the week again, 6 out of 9 faves, and a couple of big upsets, a couple of crushings from some poor sides, and a couple of good finishes. But yeah, it's a bit like the NRL at the moment. The AFL is going to have a lot of mini finals going home in the last six weeks of the season. So each round should tell some good stories, and we certainly had some upsets, and there's pressures on some sides and stuff. But yeah, there's no more pressure off the field than the poor AFL. They're really having a mare at the moment. It's hard to sugarcoat it. They've got they're struggling on a few fronts, and the Tribunal was obviously in the mainframe this week. I don't know what they're doing. They keep changing. They got some problems now. They've got players and coaches coming out. We were talking earlier. Coming out on different platforms in the media and talking ill of the AFL, don't know what's going on and stuff. So not a great look for the game when your players and your coaches, are saying that they're a bit undecided in what they can and can't do and stuff. So the AFL's, I think they're trying to limp to the end of the season before making some changes, but they're going to have to long hard look at themselves at this stage in a few key areas to really overhaul and strip back the game a bit, because I just think there's too many rules in play for the umpires. They're not up to it. And I think, the umpires are, I'm not sure it can be solely put at their feet anymore, because the game's just become too hard to umpire. It's not necessarily their ability, because they don't change the umpires over. It's a bit like the NRL. The stocks are what the stocks are. And you just got to make it easier for them to umpire the game, because I think it starts to turn the fans off the game. And when it impacts results, it's not ideal for the outlook of the game. So, on field, I think the game's travelling well in the results, and they've got a close competition, and that's what they keep
that's what they
putting
want.
out. Yeah,
that's what they want.
Yeah, it's designed to be a very even comp, but they've got some issues that they need to work on, and whether they do it before the season finishes, because potentially it could cost someone a final and a grand final, and you don't want it done like that. But anyway, whether they do it or not, but the action was very good on the field. So. Had a good winning week as well. So
I thought I was going to get the cash gun out today. I was like, I went into Saturday night. I was like, okay, now what do we cheer it on Sunday? And anyway, look, we've always got next week.
Toprope and I probably mouthed ourselves. We were perfect record going into the Sunday, and Nikki's wanting to pull out the money gun, and we said, listen, if we complete the sweep between us for the week, and unfortunately we both dropped one on the Sunday and need to get done. But for the followers, we both had winning weeks. So
great week.
It's onto this rounds where hopefully we'll show a profit.
Yeah, I have every faith in you. Okay, and Wimbledon, wow. Okay, Alcaraz, what a champion he is. He just cemented himself. It was a great win over Djokovic. So
landslide, really.
Yeah. And Krajikova, so 31st. So that was actually, she's ranked 31. It's amazing, actually. So they had one set each, and then they fought it out in the third over the Italian.
The women's final, Paolini, or the Italians have performed very well again. She was, it was a very good final, the women's. I think it's the 7th straight time that they've had a different winner. So she was a first-time winner as well. But, the women's was a cracking final. Unfortunately, the men's was just dominant. Djokovic took it to a tie-break in the third set. But, the first 2 sets were unbelievable to do that to Djokovic. I don't think he's had that done to him in many years. But, Wimbledon, unfortunately, it rained most of the tournament, but they got through it, and, a couple of good results, good finals.
Yeah. And obviously Spain, they beat England 2-1 in the Euros final, so obviously it didn't come home, but the Spanish, wow, they are just dominant in every sport. Like you think about, I think I texted you and I said, okay, what a weekend for Spain. They had, the golf with the Liv, then we had Spain, and obviously Alcaraz, it's amazing. Dominant.
I think they even beat the Aussies in the sailing out wide or something.
Wow.
Some World Cup or whatever. So can't stop the Spanish.
No. And then, it was on with Argentina and Colombia. I mean, the images are just wild. Like, that is wild, wild, wild stuff.
You see him tear the stadium apart.
Oh, did you see Maluma? Like, I mean, you can't have superstars like that, like hanging out and actively trying to engage with the Argentinian fans, and then wild, absolutely wild. Like, I think you'd have to get some life insurance before you went to one of those finals.
It was crazy.
And obviously we had the golf with Steph Kyriakou and Adam Scott.
Yeah, top rope. The golf, the Aussies had a good week leading into the British Open this week.
Yes, well, Steph was fantastic last week and was looking to win to a couple holes to play, but unfortunately couldn't get the job done. And Adam Scott runner-up at the Scottish Open. But, won't be too disappointed. I think everyone's pretty happy to see local boy Bob McIntyre win. And by all reports, he hasn't sobered up yet. So good luck, to those playing with him. He's gonna stink of alcohol going around today.
You're not tipping him for the backup for the British Open this week, I take it.
No, I'm betting against him in every which way possible.
I love it.
Oh, he's great. And obviously you're still working on the Olympic package, so that'll roll out, a day or maybe the morning of when we start. So that'll be at $99. That's going to be every piece of action you need. You're going to get all your money's worth there. And how about in the baseball? Yeah, this Aussie kid, Travis Bazzana, number 1 in the MLB draft. That is insane.
Yeah, so I've been following this kid for a while. He's actually gone against all the trends of what you're meant to do over in the college system. He was tried to offer some deals and backed himself in, which is amazing effort.
That's the Aussie spirit.
He becomes the 39th Australian to potentially make the majors, going number 1. We've never had any Australian go in the first round of the draft in the baseball. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a good story. It's worth following too. He's a real level-headed kid and worked hard at his game. So it's it's good to see. And the All-Star was awesome in the last couple of days. The home run derby, they rejigged it and it was awesome for the crowd. And then yesterday, the All-Star game was top shelf. Really good viewing. So well done to them.
Let's get into it. It's time for Thursday Lines. Proudly brought to you by topsport.com.au. Family owned and operated for over 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust. Bet with TopSport. Okay, let's go to some AFL Premiership prices. MG.
Yeah, not too much has changed at the top. Carlton obviously drifted a lot. Yeah, lost 2 in a row, so they'll want to bounce back this week. Brisbane have been the big mover, 675. They're probably just slight favourites now to make the top 4, which would be an amazing effort, but just the whether they can keep going as well, because they've come from a long way back, and history shows that it's very hard to go through and actually win the whole thing. But yeah, they're obviously well supported. It's starting to space itself out a little bit with the what shapes look like being the top 4 kind of separating themselves. But yeah, still pretty happy with Sydney just going along at this stage. So got a big match which we'll talk about earlier coming up with Brisbane.
Okay. Let's go to the Brownlow medal. Cripps to lose, is that what we're saying?
No, we're not saying that. That's unfair by you, Nikki. He's going well, but there's plenty of good players around him, and his business partner is the one that charging us. Lockie Neal, he's won 2, so let's not be shy. The umpires do love him, but the Brownlow count at this stage, same as last year, is shaping to be a cracking contest. But there's plenty of action. I still think Errol Goulden at $15. I still think he's an each way bet if you're looking for value. I just think he's a wrong price for mine. So we'll just keep following him in.
Let's go Errol. Oh, and Charlie Curnow. Wow, it's his, isn't it? The Coleman's got to be his at this point.
Yeah, they're all going okay. I wouldn't be pulling into the $1.48. I understand why they're keeping him short, but it only takes one bag from someone else to pop up. So with 6 rounds to go, it's still game on. I don't think 148's any great shakes.
Okay. Top rope. The Premiership.
Down to 3 or so. So we're down to 3.
We're only down to one team, really.
Very confident. Well, we've got a cracking game this week, which I'm sure you'll be at. Oh,
yes, I am. I'm going. I can't wait.
We will get to, no doubt about that. But, the Roosters are going great guns at the moment, absolutely flying. Penrith, though, this is when the football get cranked up. A couple of players get rested this weekend, possibly a few more. But then after this, they're an easy one in that they won't lose a game, I don't think, after this weekend. So might win this one, but they will just cruise on up. So Penrith are probably still the bet there for me. The Roosters are kind of probably bottoming out in price a bit now. On them pre-season, still like them a lot to get down. Of those three, the Storm will be the team I'll be laying.
The Storm with the team you're laying. Okay. Can you talk me through your AFL stings? Because we nearly had a clean sweep.
We
came back strong.
Yeah, we went close. 5 out of 6. Yep, very good week. I think it was our maybe second best week of the season, I think. And yeah, as I said, we Toprope and I were lights out and coming into the Sunday, and we just couldn't quite close the door on the sweep. Yeah, Port Adelaide let the AFL side down, not getting over the line the Gold Coast, but they had their chances as well. But yeah, no, it was good punting week. Definitely got the chips in at the right price and heading in the right direction. So I've got to get on my bike because, geez, Toprope's figures coming up. I've got a long way to go to chase him. But both in the positive, and looking forward to the next 6 weeks to get cracking.
Whoop, whoop. Now, come on, Toprope. Tell me where you're at.
Oh, it's a bold front run against that. Frankly, in NRL GGLA. We had a nice result on a shortened week last week. Got 3 or 4, plus 2.42 units. Season, though, 80 and 45, plus 65.43 units, plus 19.68%. So, a very good season. We hit the run home now, so confident we can keep delivering on season's really starting to take shape now. We're in good rhythm at the moment, so let me see that's this week. Package out a bit late this week's in Origin, but subscribers should get it. So
get on amongst it for $33. Look at his return. That's amazing.
Nuts if you don't sign up.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
Given you tipped one at $2.95 last week. I mean, I was all over that. Thank you.
Yeah.
You did. Yeah.
I think most pro punters that take 5% on a year.
100%.
Toprope's going at nearly 20. So
it's better than the shares.
If you're not following the package, it's not only the package as well. You know, Toprope won't talk himself up and stuff, but it's about getting the right price in and your staking plan, everything that goes with it. It's not about just tipping the winner and go. It's about your staking and
And you know where the mail is. It's right here.
Well, some of it is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk to me about this game because I know you want to give it to me. Essendon and Adelaide. Essendon, $1.48. Adelaide, $2.65. The line is 11.5, over under 168.5. Surely Essendon's season is done if they don't win this game.
Fair comment. I might hold you to that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were, I don't know what description you want to tell you. They were disappointing last week.
Disappointing. We lost to Melbourne without Petrarca and Gawn.
Yeah,
disappointing doesn't cover it.
Yeah, many factors. Didn't adjust to the conditions, picked the wrong side. I had an Essendon supporter last night in the office telling us, certain players shouldn't have played in wet weather football because they lack mobility is a nice way of putting it. But, yeah, so this game with Essendon and their so-called, inverted commas, the edge has gone missing. So they need to bounce back against Adelaide, whose season's over. They've got a very good record against Adelaide, won last 7 straight head-to-head. Very good home record. They're 5 and a draw out of 7 games, and Adelaide's away record's terrible. They've only won 2 of 7. So just on those stats alone, you'd be pretty confident Essendon getting the job done, but they've got to go out there and get it done. But, yeah, back to Marvel. I don't want to say it yet, but Essendon, if you kind of look at their year and their form, they've had a soft draw, but they've also seen a bit of a fair weather football side for mine. They don't. They like the football pretty, non-pressure, tackling and stuff like that. So we'll just see how that plans out. And if I was Adelaide having a game plan with nothing to lose, I'd just be up in their grill, and I think that's the way to put Essendon off their game. So, yeah, Essendon have got to stand up this week, but part of the betting, bit of support for Essendon. It's open 10.5, gone to 11. I can't find a bet in the game, which is unusual for the first game of the year. We've kind of poured into them most weeks. But, yeah, you're going to sit this one on the sidelines. I think being in the dome with the total, I think you've got a spot on around that 170. I think there could be scoring, but also with Essendon having to win, there could be a bit of pressure in the game, especially if Adelaide rock up to play. So just going to keep the powder dry and cheer for your team. Get them home.
It's a must-win. Thank you, MJ. I appreciate that you're going to cheer the Bombers. Okay, Toprope. Let's have a look at the Raiders and the Warriors. Friday night, the Canberra Raiders, $1.80. Warriors, $2. The line is only 1.5, over under 47.5.
Well, MG's keeping the powder dry on Friday night, and unfortunately I am too.
Oh, no.
Very, very dry on Friday night. A lot of good judges around want to tip up the Raiders as good things this week. So happy to kind of follow the guy. I can't find them to the life of me. It's they've been very poor record at home. They've failed to cover the last 5 at home with a loss. covered just 3 of their last 9 at home, lost scoring 12 or fewer, but Warriors plenty of injuries. Teams on back-to-back interstate games covered just 44%, and the Warriors covered just 41% in Australia. So happy to cop the tip on the Raiders without any real confidence, and we'll be being small on the over in this one. The over has hit in the last 3 between these two. It's 61.8% when a team is $2 or short off a buy. So, don't mind the over in this one, and 12 and 3 in the Raiders play tonight. So, little edge there, kind of goes against instincts, but they said they're pretty low scoring late. So, maybe a project game for most of both of them, but I'll be backing over small and probably below. I don't mind a wager, having a little bet on the Raiders, but probably nothing out there for subscribers.
Thanks, Toprope. All right, now this is going to be a game. Saturday afternoon, Hawthorne, Collingwood. Hawthorne, $1.81. Collingwood, $1.96. The line is 1.5, over under 167.5.
Yeah, very good betting game. Yeah. The Captain Scooty, he'll be all over this one. His Hawks are going well while he's been away. Yeah, it's, as you see on the board, close betting game. The weather is forecast. There is some showers around. Whether it hits during this game and affects it, I'm just going to sit and wait. 167 seems about right at this stage, but these two have a very high head-to-head average, 188. So there could be some scoring in this game if it stays dry. So there could be a bet later in the closer to game time. But yeah, in terms of the game, I'm surprised Hawthorne probably are only 1.5 point favourites, and there hasn't been some support for them. Won 6 out of their last 7. The only loss that they had was they got smashed by Geelong. But other than that, no complaints over nearly 2 months' worth of football. And Collingwood now have lost 3 in a row, got injuries, and just you can only hold up for so long when you have injury lists. Any team can attest to it. So I think Hawthorne have got a dominant record over Collingwood, 14-4, both in the head-to-head and cover in the last 18 games. So they have a dominant record, and Hawthorne have covered 9 of their last 10 games as well this season. So, probably not enough for a bet, but I just think this is an elimination final. Both teams are on the same amount of points, and both can't make the final 8. So the loser of this season will be over. If I had a choice, I'd be going on Hawthorne. I think they're going better. I just can't find Collingwood in the market, especially at Pickham, and I've probably found Collingwood too many times this year, which has hurt the bottom line. So yeah, I'm going to shade Hawthorne and probably look to back the under if the weather rolls in. But that'll be a late play if that occurs.
Okay, so you need to be subscribing and a late play there potentially for MG. Okay, this is most definitely the match of the round. Saturday night at Amy Stadium, Melbourne Storm take on the Sydney Roosters. The Storm are $2.15, the Roosters $1.70. The line is 2.5, over under 47.5. Toprope.
Not sure how Storm are underdogs at home yet. It's
because we beat them last year.
But they beat you 9 of the last 10 times. So I think that's worth noting. And also home field's a massive advantage. I think they'll be a little bit
worse for wear?
A little bit jarred by the fact that they've been listed as an outsider at home when they're sitting on top of the competition. So probably coming out better off from Origin, the Storm. Harry Grant had a pretty tough game. I'm not sure that he will back up.
We added it up, how much time he spent on the field last night, because obviously he doesn't normally spend that much time in Origin. And yeah, he looked tired.
He looked busted. I had that sternum injury going into the game. So, and he had one of his worst ever games last night. So we'll see if he wants to atone for that. The Roosters, they could all back up. Recording injuries out of the game, but Connor Watson, I think, will definitely back up. He only played 15 or so rounds, but it would be a big effort for Crichton, Spencer Leniu, but Leniu played big rounds last night for him, and Crichton was a shame, so he will likely shot again. But and Lindsay Collins was also pretty immense again, I thought. So there shows up from them, but the Storm, they've covered 10 of 4 out of the team, 28, plus they had a bye to kind of get over that horrible defence deficit last time. The Roosters covered us 41% of the win. I've got to lay in the Storm edge the odds, but I think this should be close to Pickham. Storm favourite for.
Well, I look forward to the chat on Saturday night. That is going to be epic. And obviously, just so
So
you know.
you say Chad sounds like I'm going to be getting a lecture. Is what it sounds like.
I promise no lectures, but even my Queensland family are coming down for this. There's like a little contingency. It's a sold-out game. It's huge.
That's it, yeah, man. And
Oh, yeah.
Great to watch as well. So I would say this is a battle for the number one contender status for the Panthers crown. Okay,
that's it. Let's go. Game on.
I think the key will be whether I go or not. I could be a late inclusion to this game.
Can you stand? But we're not sitting next to each other.
I've never been to a Storm game and they've lost Toprope.
Yeah, remember when we went a couple of years ago and we beat you? It was one of the last games of the season. It was the last home game, yeah. And you were chips in on the Storm and obviously the Chookies won. That was 2 years ago.
The chat will go quiet, Toprope.
All right. Talk to me about Geelong and the Western Bulldogs on Saturday night. Geelong, $1.46. The Bulldogs, $2.65. The line is 13.5 over under 168.5.
Cracking game. Also on the Saturday night, which is making the difficult choice to go and watch the Storm. Or,
one's in Geelong, one's around the corner.
Stay in the office and watch everything. But yeah, no, looking forward to this one. 3rd v 10th on the ladder. Geelong have found their mojo again. They've won 3 in a row. Bulldogs got back on the board. They're a lot more inconsistent, but got the job done against Carlton last week. So every time the Bulldogs show something and the supporters and everything get behind them, then they let you down the next week. So I'm hoping that they buck the trend in this one. The Bulldogs have been smashed. Plus 18, the bookies went up. Too big for mine, especially with the weather forecast possibly down at Geelong. So happy to chime in early at the plus 18 and what we were talking about earlier. With betting at the right price, it's now 13.5. So I think it's more about its right price now. But if the weather rolls in and stuff like that, I think it might fall another couple of points. But yeah, happy on the Bulldogs. Can't pot statistically wise, Geelong obviously not impossible, hard to beat at home. It's 6 out of 8 this year. Bulldogs haven't travelled great, and the head-to-head Geelong's 15-4 against the Bulldogs. So. Some of the stats don't read well, but 3 goals start is pretty big, especially if the weather turns, which you do have an advantage. If it does, then it might be a lower scoring game. So Bulldogs should have team news with Norton and Treloar coming back in, which will help them as well. So yeah, I'm pretty keen on the Bulldogs. Happy to have the bet at the right price, and if it rains, I think it'll make their job a bit easier. But yeah, cracking contest. Geelong hard to beat at home, but yeah, 3 goals start will do me.
Another very good game. We've got Panthers taking on the Dolphins. Sunday afternoon, Penrith, $1.21. The Dolphins, $4.40. The line is 12.5, over under 46.5. Geez. Does everyone back up from Origin or not? Toprope, surely not.
Well, no, Yo and Edwards weren't named, so they're definitely not backing up. And we'll soon see whether the other 3 told Martin and Luai will, but I would suggest Luai and probably Martin probably won't. They're both pretty tough games. Clearly back for them, but this line's way too big. Way too big. Panthers are like a 50% cover rate team when they're third by double digits. They've got a lot of outs. I don't think this is a game that they really all that so exciting. Their season starts. Their really run starts this week. The Dolphins have covered 11 of 17 getting out or more. 11 of 17 have conceded 20 plus. 3 of the last 4 in the state. I'll be back on the Dolphins to cover here. But I'll be back on the Dolphins to win straight out.
Oh, 440. Yes.
Fins up. Fins up. Fins up, baby.
Fins up. Okay. I love that. Thanks, Toprope. What? He's over here laughing. You're throwing me off my game. Okay. Sunday afternoon. Geez, Sunday's looking good. Brisbane Lions take on the Sydney Swans. $1.85 for Brisbane. Sydney, $1.93. There is no line and it is over under 177.5. I know you're looking forward to this.
Match of the year.
Oh, match of the year, baby.
Yeah, as good as the League one will be with the Roosters and Storm. I'm really looking forward to this one. Sunday at 1:10, and as the betting suggests, there's very little in this game as well. Yeah, what can we say? 4th against 1st, both in unbelievable form. Brisbane after a slow start now won 6 in a row. Hit the top 4. They're at home, 6 and 3 at home this year. And I'm not sure what else more we can say about Sydney. They had two close losses in a row, but took care of the Kangaroos last week by plenty. top of the ladder, only lost 3 games for the year, and their away record 6 out of 8 as well. So, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm going to sit back and enjoy in terms of the match. I don't think there's an edge in the lineups and everything like that. And I think, pick them, either way, wouldn't talk you out of either side. But the total here is really keen on one of the keener totals I've been on this year. I think open 172.5. I thought it should have been low 180s. So between these two sides, Brisbane's last 9 games have had 8 over, and Sydney's last 8 games have had 7 over. So between them, they're 15 out of 17 in the over games. Offense, Sydney's got the best offense, and Brisbane's got the third best. And they just play the right way. So be dry conditions, day game at Brisbane, and it's an easy ground to score on, especially when you get out of the middle. These two sides are highly skilled. The total's been smashed to the over since we bet 172. It's at 177. Happy to bet any bookie going around. This doesn't start with a 1-8 in front of it by the time it starts. So you can still get your chips in at the right price and just sit back and watch an awesome game. Yeah, really looking forward to this. And won't be betting the side, but they're all over the total here. As Toprope says, chips in.
Fat kid on a cupcake for the total. All right, I love it. Now let's go, Toprope. Let's talk about our second team here. Your first team, my second team for this year. Sunday's a great day for footy betting. Cowboys taking on the Bulldogs. Cowboys $1.80. The Bulldogs are $2. The line is 1.5 over under 46.5.
Definitely afford the Dogs a chance here. Cowboys covered just 1 of their last 9 at home, 3 of the last 10 off the loss. Not a lot of numbers for the Bulldogs. They've covered 4 or 6 in state, so happy to be small on the Dogs here, but the best bet in this one is the under. The under is 6-2. Last 8 between these two. 14-5 in the Dogs, rough conceding 14 or fewer. 9-2 in the Bulldogs are a dog. 14-8 with the Cowboys are a small over favourites. So betting the under pretty small.
A little bit of touch for the under there. Thank you, Toprope. All right, punters, now you've heard them talk it up. You need to get in at the right price. So you can get the GGOA and the AFL Stings in our Little Birdie Live shop. The GGOA is $33. The Stings is only $25. You need to be all over it because the boys are talking there. They're talking a big game this weekend and I can't wait. I can feel it. All right. That is a wrap for Thursday Lines. Thank you so much for having me, Toprope and MG. It's been a pleasure to be back in the seat. Not sure if I'm here next week, but happy punting. Remember, you can follow us on YouTube. We are on socials, Little Birdie TV, Insta and Twitter. Remember to read our podcast and listen to it anywhere you get your good podcast from, Spotify, SoundCloud, and you can watch us on YouTube if you want to see what we look like. Remember, all your footy betting action is at topsport.com.au. Scooty might be back next week. Punt responsibly. See you later.